I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Tally is back. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back. We did the 100th podcast earlier, and Tally was one of the guests. But this is your solo shot now. Introduce yourself again to everybody, please.
My name's Talleywackin101. I am a Viking VTuber, variety streamer, and I mean, as far as the VTubing community goes, at least, I'm one of the older individuals on this scene.
Now you're talking about old. I'll say he's about half as old as I am at most. But I do appreciate you coming back and coming on the show again. You've got some things going on that we want to talk about, but some announcements to make. But first, I want to get a little dip into your background. When did you get started VTubing?
So VTubing I didn't swap to until about 2 years ago, actually. 2 years this July.
Okay.
But as far as streaming, I've been streaming since 2016 or so.
Oh, so you are a real vet as far as this goes. So what type of streaming did you do before, or was it still gaming?
It was still gaming. I did actually do like face cam and stuff like that. All of that's gone. Can't find that anymore. So,
we'll
much
see.
to the chagrin of one of my friends.
Yeah, I
he
bet.
wanted one of those clips forever.
I bet they're still looking for it too. So why'd you make the transition over?
Well, it had always, like I said, I've been streaming for a very long time. I was always kind of hit or miss. I'd go through streaks of every day for months on end, no issues, and then I would give myself one excuse one time, and then I would slowly fall off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So swapping to being a VTuber was more a getting myself out of having the excuse of, oh, I don't like the way I look today. Oh, my room's a little bit messy. It's just removing one or two of the excuses to stream. To keep myself consistent.
I can tell you that's the first time I've heard that in doing the reviews. I use it as an excuse to continue streaming. That's different. But well, since you did make the changeover, is it more comfortable for you this way overall?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot more comfortable. The VTubing community has been just wonderful. Mm-hmm. They've been very inviting and made a lot of friends since swapping over.
That's cool. That's a great thing, is that you have the potential audience of everybody who has a computer and or handheld device that accesses the internet, which is a few billion people. And then you can meet them from anywhere, all over the world too.
Oh yeah. So
how have you done with as far as collaboration? I know a couple people that you collaborate with. Goofballs.
Yeah. A couple goofballs. One that everyone can blame me for being as prevalent as they are. I definitely do a lot of collabing. I will say my personality has a tendency to be a bit strong, so I try to be more comfortable with the individual before I do collaborations. Otherwise, I have a tendency of drowning people out or going the opposite end and not engaging enough because I'm not trying to not drown them out.
It's either you're having a hard time finding the happy middle sometimes, and as far as that goes. But it's a good thing. You recognize that, and you try to make it try to smooth it as much as you can before you go in. But working with anybody else is, no matter how much you plan, is a crapshoot. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and there's nothing much you can do about that. Has that happened to you yet?
I not necessarily that it has just outright not worked. There's been a couple times where the chemistry was not exactly on, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't as engaging as I feel like it could have been. But for the most part, I have had no issues.
Well, that's cool. That's good. Now, what type of games are you streaming right now?
I mean, a little bit of everything. I always will get dragged back to Smite at least a little bit. That's always been the mainstay of my channel, but I've been trying to branch out a little bit more often than that. Just to say, I've been especially Helldivers has been particularly engaging for me. That has sucked me into no end.
Oh, I can see that. That's just a riot on the computer, no matter how you do it. Yeah, I don't understand. I realize from watching people play it that it would be just as fun as possible, but I don't understand what the goals are other than killing things and being killed, because that's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of it's more just like a metaphor for being, completely,
Unhinged.
yeah, completely unhinged, but also just, being completely taken in by, like propaganda.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Like,
true. There is a lot of that in there too, but
mhm.
I see that, and then the sadistic people who made the game added friendly fire to it, as if you're not shooting everything inside
Oh,
anyway.
mhm.
You add that to it and makes it even more fun. But I can see that being just a riot to play, as long as you're not taking it too seriously. You haven't come across that, have you?
Um, as far as Helldivers, no. There's
Yeah.
definitely people who do take that way too seriously. I try to not join in on random people
Mhm.
anymore because I tried it exactly one time when I was still new to the game
Yeah.
and got immediately kicked for not having the right gear. And I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, that's when you know you're not going to be welcome. That you don't look right. Click. Oh, thank you. That's great. Now you've got some big plans coming up, because I know that you said you got some announcements. So I'm giving you the stage right
Ah.
now, Tally. This is your moment. Let us know what's going on right
Okay.
now.
Well, later today, actually, or I believe I'll be posting this. I will be posting the reveal for my 2.0 model.
Cool.
After after doing this for 2 years, I'm finally going to upgrade my model.
Okay.
So,
You have some other things in the works?
that will actually be coming with nearly a full rebrand to an extent.
Mm.
Potentially changing out the name I've been using. That not completely settled, but that is part of what will be coming with that.
Mm. So that you're going to leave us a little cliffhanger, a
Oh
possibility
yeah.
of a cliffhanger. What will the name be? Will there be a different name? So, with that that you're talking two major changes possibly here.
Mhm.
Are you going to do anything different with the channel afterwards?
I mean, it'll mostly stay the same as far as content. Still just going to be. I mean, I don't play a character. I am actually just this deranged. So it's hard for me to change anything in that facet. I'm just this is who I am.
Mm. And so you're not gonna like have a big old giant, lore and uh, new
Hmm.
lore and change accents and do that sort of thing.
I never actually really even established proper lore, so that might come with it. I'm not sure, but I hadn't actually even really considered lore.
Yeah. Now I just gave you
But
something
yeah,
else to
no,
do.
there will be no accent changes.
Yeah. Yes. So congratulations on that. I know that probably took a while to get done with the model. Did you come up with the original drawings yourself, or did you just have some ideas?
I so with this one, absolutely, it was just ideas that I had scoured through and kind of pieced together, along with Sin actually helped me making it a file for all of the things I wanted going into it.
Mm-hmm.
But the original model that I've been using, I actually reached out to my artist that drew this one on a whim.
Yeah.
I never actually even had considered it. I just kind of sent a message, and they're like, "Yeah, I can do that." They sent back in like 10 minutes, and they're like, "What ideas do you have?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't think this far ahead."
I was just ready for rejection. I wasn't ready for this. Darn, success.
That was a plankton meme.
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far.
I just figured I'd already been beat by this time. The fact that you're getting this done and getting it through means obviously that you're enjoying yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's my favorite thing to do anymore.
Yeah.
I have people in my real life complaining that I'm not going golfing with them as much anymore because I'm like, but I could use that time to stream.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you lose less golf balls this way. You throw less clubs, a little less clubs. I always told Illinois, I did some pre and post game stuff on the radio for University of Illinois football and basketball, and I met one of the basketball coaches, and he said he was taking up golfing, and I told him, "You're not a golfer yet until you've helicoptered a club halfway down the fairway and said curse words in a way you've never used before."
Why is that so accurate?
Because anybody who's been golfing for any time knows that's exactly right. that particular sound of the usually a 3-iron going down the fairway. Not even God's going to hit that 3-iron properly. But here you get a chance to kind of expand, and really you have no limits with this character, with what you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the great parts is everyone gets to express themselves however they want with VTubing. I definitely get some criticism for being, less outlandish than people. I mean, got all of the anthropomorphized animals and such and demons, and I'm like, Viking though.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, Vikings are tough. I mean, Thor. Look how popular Thor is, for crying out loud. He looks like a Viking. So I don't know what the problem is. But have you felt any pressure to do that, to amp up that sort of thing?
I mean, there have been people who have tried to apply pressure, but you're applying pressure to somebody who just blatantly does not care. So it's very hard to apply pressure to me when it just doesn't matter.
It's like pushing hot butter. It's going to happen, and you're still not going to get anywhere with it. But that type of streamer, I mean, they have their audiences. What would you say your audience is?
Yeah. There's a good mix of just absolute deranged individuals, which I love, and should I say this? Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. There's also a very high portion of my audience that falls into the daddy issues group.
Well, there's escapism and there's escapism. If there's a call for it, somebody's got to fill the role.
Yep, and I'm okay with it as much as it A couple of my friends are very against it. I'm like, nah, I'll embrace this a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And I can imagine who's against it, but it doesn't matter as long as the folks keep coming and have you built up a pretty good base of people who will be there each time you stream?
Oh yeah, I'd say I've gotten a pretty solid base of people who show up pretty consistent, or I mean, virtually every single time at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, are you gonna expand to other platforms in the future?
Um, that is the intention. I know at some point, I actually Sin, who's been here multiple times as we know,
Yeah, corrupt. We're talking
is
about corruption, of course.
yes, Corruption, is actually supposed to be at some point helping me learn to edit my clips and stuff for uh, TikTok or YouTube Shorts and such. Just that hasn't happened as they've been relatively busy with their own stuff.
Just back that bus right over her. That's okay. Throw Sin right under that bus.
I mean, that's pretty typical for the way me and them interact. So,
Folks, if you haven't seen them on a stream, you really have to because it's a lot of fun. Just a bunch of them, Angel as well on there, and it's just great to hear them. It's a load of fun, no matter what you guys are into. That's something to look forward to for you guys, I imagine. Uh, well, has it gotten to the point now where it's a job, or is it still enjoyable as a hobby for you?
um, I mean, I put in the hours of it being a job nearly.
Meh.
It's honestly, I enjoy it so much. I don't think I could ever like view it in the same way I view a actual proper job.
Mm,
As much as I would love for it to be my job.
yeah, yeah, and that's and there are a lot of people who would like to do it, and some people
Mhm.
people work to it. But as looking at it as an outsider, I think as long as you're enjoying yourself and people are enjoying watching you, that would be the thing that would really be fulfilling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That I mean, that was effectively my entire point
Mm,
of starting streaming all way back when.
yeah, back in the
I had actually been watching a streamer. He no longer streams, unfortunately. Last Light 150,
mm,
uh, and in his chat, it was such a it was such a great community. Like where even in the active chat for Twitch, half the time we weren't even talking with him. It was just a bunch of people interacting with each other. It felt like an actual community. I've
mm.
always sought to somewhat recreate that. That's the whole reason I started streaming was they stopped and I was like, I want that back.
Right, right. You want to keep the gang together, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you once you lose that community that you're a part of, um, you don't realize just how much it means to you until it's gone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and then suddenly it's like, what am I going to do now? where where am I gonna head up? So you just decided to do it on your own. Have you always been a performer type of person?
No, actually, not at all. I've, I mean, throughout, my childhood and growing up, I was very big into sports.
Mm,
I mean, I can still, me and my siblings will still have full-fledged conversations about, we could tell you practice squad members from 3 years ago on the Green Bay Packers.
yeah, of course. And folks
So
need to
it's,
folks need to realize just how tremendous the Green Bay Packers are. I
oh,
mean,
absolutely.
I mean, I live in Chicago Bears territory, and I've done nothing but enjoyed everything since since Brett Favre took over at quarterback. Every game, just pounding over and over again. Anyway, get back to. But yeah, you were into sports, but you weren't on the stage.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's
never really was. Like I said, I had no intention of streaming or doing anything of this nature really until the end of that content creator. He just kind of stopped. I was like, man, it was so wonderful. I just wanted to recreate that.
And you've done it. I mean, you've enjoyed yourself, because you wouldn't do this many years of something you didn't like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, voluntarily. But it sounds like in listening and watching your streams that you are enjoying every second of it. Am I getting that right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's good, because I've always thought that if you're enjoying yourself, then the people watching you are going to be enjoying themselves. And even if you're in something like some type of horror game and you're getting scared out of your mind, you're still enjoying yourself because you're in the horror game, and folks are watching are enjoying themselves. Makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, is there anybody streaming that you watch?
Way too many people.
You've got a list.
Oh yeah, I have a list. There's always at least 8 people that I have actively watched at least at some point streaming. I have an issue where I've been an insomniac my entire life, so I have to find some way of keeping myself entertained.
Yeah.
While struggling to sleep, and I've met so many people that I'll sit down and watch, but I mean, I'll go through a few of them. There's always, I would say the main few people that I will sit down and actively watch and not be multitasking while they're streaming would be Tetra, MH, Uracy, Himawari Dreams, who I actually just recently collabed with for the first time.
Cool.
Not too long ago. And Hitsuko Neko. Yeah. Those would be the 4 outside of obviously my immediate friend group that everyone sees on stream all the time with me. I'll sit down and watch.
Who I affectionately call a bunch of goofballs. Watching you guys is too much fun. It really is. It's just you're all enjoying yourselves and just letting it out and taking everybody on that ride. And I do appreciate that when someone is just enjoying themselves and letting everybody else enjoy themselves with you. That's really good, and you guys do a great job of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the big picture. The big picture. What is do you have a big goal, one of those stretch goals that you would like to get with your channel? Is there something that you're reaching for, that you would really like to achieve?
I mean, obviously, I feel like at least most people doing this type of content creation and stuff like that would love to get to the point where it can be their full-time job. At least I assume so, as that's always been like, once I realized how much I loved it, I was like, I want to push for that.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how achievable that may or may not be.
Yeah. Well, it's you can get something out of it anyway. I mean, if it's not a full time, you get a little bit of extra, gas money on the side. If and then these days that adds up pretty quick. It also adds up on your taxes, so you got to watch out for that. But it's something that pretty soon there's going to be a VTuber out who does nothing but taxes. And they're gonna.
I don't doubt it, honestly.
And the people who are going to be watching them are other VTubers. just be lined up with that, and they'll be one of the most popular streamers, and all they do is sit and give tax advice to VTubers. That's an idea I should patent right now.
Oh yeah, got to get that one locked up before somebody hones in on your territory.
I keep giving away things I should be holding on to. It's been a great pleasure talking with you again, Talia, and again, I just enjoy you guys' streams so much. Folks need to check out what's going on with them. We're going to have the link coming up in the description for the interview. But again, thank you so much. And once you get some things rolling here with the new stuff and new things in the future, let me know. We'll do it again, okay?
Okay, will do. Appreciate you having me on again.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.